GM owners are completely losing faith in their truck, and everyone knows why. A $93,000 Silverado worth $55,000 after 2 years. Paint peeling at 15,000 miles. A class action lawsuit covering 800,000 vehicles with transmissions GM knew were defective. And a plant employing 2,200 people shutting down because nobody can afford to buy the trucks anymore. Before we get into it, hit like and subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and every single one helps.
You know, I couldn't agree more, man. Ford and GM have fallen so far from grace. I mean, what used to be one of the most reliable, respectable, serviceable vehicles on the road is nothing more than a fantastic plastic hunk of junk, if I put it politely. Just a bunch of computers and a bunch of bullshit that nobody asked for. And this one, as you can see, it's a new body style. Guess what I had to do to it? An engine. Already. Truck ain't even 4 years old. Already needs a motor. But that's not the only thing, right? It wouldn't be so bad if they were as serviceable as they used to be. You know, the old Silverados, you could yank the motor out of that thing in an afternoon and give it back to the customer before lunch. Not this fucking pile, man. They have engineered these things. I'll show you. It's just such nonsense, man. There's just so much bullshit in the way these days. And I kind of wanted to, I was putting this back together because this truck refuses to leave, man. I'm going to make another video about that. But as I'm going through this and working on these new vehicles, it just baffles me how much these automakers are cutting corners and cutting costs just to protect their bottom line at the expense of the consumer and the technician. And here's a perfect example of GM and Ford's corporate greed. They have eliminated belt tensioners. My other technicians will know exactly what I have here in my hand. And for those of you who don't, this is a stretch belt. And the stretch belt is exactly what it sounds like. You got to stretch the motherfucker to install it. And GM decided to put not one, but two. So when you consumers are going in to have your belt replaced and you wonder why labor's so high and why it's taking so goddamn long when it used to take 30 seconds to swap a belt on a 5.3 Silverado, that's why, because GM decided to save 11 cents per unit by not installing a fucking belt tensioner. So now you need special tools, and you got to hold your tongue just the right way and close your eyes and pray you don't fucking break it when it's going on, because you literally destroy these when they go on. You cannot reuse them. Say your alternator goes out, your AC compressor, water pump, any of these accessories on your engine fails, and you want to take your belt off and replace that part and put the belt back on, no the fuck you're not. These are a one-time use. GM and Ford tell you that you have to replace those every time you take them off. Good luck getting them off. I mean, most of the time I just cut them off because you got to replace them anyway. But I mean, what the fuck, man? Seriously, like, what happened to the serviceability of vehicles? It's absurd. I get, you know, the bean counters are saving GM a ton of money doing this shit, but at what cost? You know, just fuck us and we're just supposed to roll over and accept it? Being a technician these days, man, the shit is not looking good.
Already potlickers. What the fuck, GM? Okay, I'm talking to General Motors here. Fuck you guys. I figured after so many years, you guys would have headlights figured out on how to take them out without removing the grill. Okay, I cheated a little. I snapped things off that one, well, because we're putting in those anyway. But what the fuck? This ain't 1990 anymore. We shouldn't have to take the whole fucking grill off to put your fucking gay-ass headlights in. It really doesn't help because of this brush guard in the way. I can't pull straight on the grill. And I plan on getting a new grill anyway. But I don't want to break it right now. I don't want to buy another grill right now. Just who thought of this? Who thought let's tuck the light behind the grill and also tuck it down there? Fuck you! Fuck you, GM. I hate you sometimes. And then you also have these gay-ass plastic clips that fucking break in the goddamn grill. You guys are stupid, okay? Sometimes.
Check engine light on. Customer states, when trying to drive, vehicle feels like it's in neutral. Well, looks like we got one, boys. What is it, 6-speed, 8-speed, no speed, doesn't matter. It ain't going nowhere. All right, cut it.
General Motors will be facing a class action lawsuit over faulty transmissions. The order comes from a federal appeals court, and the lawsuit claims that over 800,000 2015 through 2019 Cadillac, Chevrolet, and GMC vehicles were knowingly sold by GM with defective 8L45 or 8L90 8-speed automatic transmissions. Customers have also allegedly complained about shuddering and shaking issues when their vehicles are in higher gear, as well as a hesitation or like a lurching problem in lower gears, even after repair attempts. The lawsuit also accuses GM of telling dealers to go ahead and just assure their customers that harsh transmission shifts were normal, and that GM would cover transmission flushes for customers experiencing the issue during the warranty period without actually fixing the underlying issue. Now, this next thing is obviously anecdotal, but I had a few vehicles with the old 8-speed transmissions, and I never had any real issues with them. The older 6-speed transmission, though.
This is for anyone considering getting a GMC. This is their paint quality. It started off in here. You can see all around the whole backside. Paint coming off. Started off in there, and then randomly started chipping in other areas. And then you got this beautiful, beautiful piece here on the door. Looks real nice. It's literally all over the place. All the corners, crevices. Well, what do we got here? Wow, that looks good. It's a nice paint right there. Some there in the middle. Where else we got it? Oh, there's one starting. That's how it starts. That's one I tried to fix myself a long time ago. My paint's holding in better than their paint did. There's some more custom spotted paint. Oh, here we go. This is nice too. That's good. Yeah. Anyone thinking about getting a GMC? You think twice. This is their paint. They told me they could fix it for me. On TikTok, they said, shoot us a message, we'll help you out. They told me $8,000 to fix the paint. This all started happening at about 15,000 miles when the car's about 3 years old.
I don't like making videos like this, but here we are. GM is shutting down the Oshawa assembly line that makes the 1500 GM 1500 Silverado that they've been making for years. And you're probably wondering why. Well, because nobody can afford to buy them. They go from $55,000 all the way to $93,000. Now, this is a pickup truck, right? This isn't a race car. It's just a fucking truck. And that GM plant employs 2,200 people. Which actually, in turn, if those 2,200 people go out without a job, that means that 22,000 people will be affected from the spin-off businesses that rely on that production line. But the kicker of this is that GM vehicle that you bought for $93,000, well, after 2 years, it's only worth $55,000. So GM is actually sucking all of your equity out of that car. Because who the fuck would buy a truck that you can't put a sheet of plywood in, you don't want to get scratched, you have to maintain with dealer software and dealer parts. You can't even fix it yourself. It doesn't even come with a fucking dipstick. You can't check your own oil. Fuck me. And at the end of it, depreciate $40,000 to $50,000 in 2 years. So am I sad that the people in Oshawa are losing their job? Yes. But am I happy for GM to stop making these pieces of shit they call a truck? Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, man, the people need to have a quality truck. And if you want a quality truck, buy yourself a used Toyota. There you have it.
A mechanic is rebuilding a GM truck engine. The truck is not even 4 years old, and as he's working through it, he says something that every GM owner needs to hear. It used to take an afternoon to pull the motor out of an old Silverado and get it back to the customer before lunch. This one, the engineering is so overcomplicated, so deliberately packed with unnecessary components that the job takes days. Not because the repair is complex, because GM designed it that way. Here's one specific example that should make every GM owner angry. Belt tensioners, a simple, cheap component that makes belt replacement a 30-second job. GM decided to eliminate them and replace them with stretch belts. Belts you literally have to stretch to install, require special tools, and are single-use only. If your alternator fails, your AC compressor goes, your water pump needs replacing, you cannot take the belt off and put it back on. It gets cut off and thrown away. Every single time. GM saved 11 cents per unit making this decision. You pay the difference in labor every time anything on your engine needs attention. Then there's the transmission. A federal appeals court just cleared a class action lawsuit covering over 800,000 GM vehicles, Cadillac, Chevrolet, and GMC, sold with defective 8-speed automatic transmissions between 2015 and 2019, shuddering in higher gears, lurching in lower gears, and GM's official response to dealers was to tell customers the harsh shifts were normal and cover transmission flushes during the warranty period without actually fixing the underlying problem. Not a solution, a delay tactic with a time limit. The paint. A GMC owner walks his truck on camera. Paint peeling on the backside, the door, the corners, the crevices. Started at 15,000 miles. 3 years old. He reached out to GM on TikTok. They told him to send a message and they'd help him out. The help turned out to be an $8,000 repair quote for paint on a truck that cost $93,000 new. And now GM is shutting down the Oshawa assembly plant. 2,200 workers, 22,000 people affected through spin-off businesses because nobody can afford to buy the trucks anymore. $55,000 to $93,000 for a pickup truck. Not a race car, not a luxury sedan. A truck that depreciates $40,000 to $50,000 in 2 years. That you cannot fix yourself. That doesn't come with an oil dipstick. That requires dealer software and dealer parts for basic maintenance. That you cannot put a sheet of plywood in without worrying about scratches. The mechanic said it plainly at the end. Am I sad the people in Oshawa are losing their jobs? Yes. Am I happy GM is stopping production of these trucks? Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, people deserve a quality truck. If you want one, buy a used Toyota. Subscribe if you want to keep watching. And tell me in the comment, would you ever buy a brand new GM truck after watching this? Because I think I already know the answer.